Namaste, beloveds. This is Mother with Wisdom, and this is a video that I'm just going to um, get right into. I wasn't um, planning on doing one today. Today is February 14th. It is what the world knows and celebrates as um, Valentine's Day, and I couldn't um, think of a better subject. Um, Excuse me for fiddling, but I couldn't think of a better subject today. And I woke up with um, something that I've been praying on and meditating on um, for myself. And it's starting to surface for me. It's really starting to um, lay its own foundation so that my thoughts are able to build upon what was given. And I just want to share um, what came to me and what I wrote down. Existence is the womb of truth. The addiction of this world is so subtle. It is an addiction to a side that the ego has decided to be true in order for the soul to survive existence. And let me explain what that means simply, beloveds. It means that the ego, existence, is everything and nothing, nothing being the absolute potential and possibilities that do exist and can exist. That is what nothing is. And everything is everything that we are able to conceive, to see, to perceive. And so the ego is a conscious state of awareness that views itself as being outside of existence, as being separate from existence itself, the everything and the nothing. It sees itself as an individual. It sees itself as an aspect of existence. And that aspect, in order for it to exist, must create its own world, a world that is made of illusions, a world that is made of half truths, simulated logical, connect the dots that will always keep you going and going and going and going and searching for the conclusion of what existence is when you are existence itself. Let me keep going. Um, the subtle addictions. Living in the United States um, and being a student of somewhat history, there is a perception of sides. And I'll get into that a little bit deeper later on. But the ego needs you to choose a side in order for the ego itself to continue to fabricate its own world. We manifest the world that we exist in by our thoughts and our desires. We are existence. We create naturally. Um, Let me keep going. And with that as your foundation, um, continue to focus on why the ego needs to be separate, needs to create a separate world outside of existence itself in order for it to reign supreme. So I'm just going to read that again and just go forward. The addiction to this world is so subtle. It is an addiction to a side that the ego has decided to be true in order for the soul to survive existence. Wait, what? The ego has to separate itself from existence in order to exist. The ego has created, given birth to the truth of sides, and you must choose a side to exist in its world. Its world is a world of illusions, a veiled world, a matrix system of games, good versus evil, white versus black, God versus the devil, Osiris versus Set, Isis versus Set, Horus versus Set, Tiamat versus Marduk, Jehovah versus Baal, the Christians versus the Muslims, etc., for eternity. Why? So that conscious awareness is controlled and not allowed to expand into the unlimited truths of existence itself. And one of the major um, reasons for this taking such prominent place in my own conscious awareness right now is the world of division and chaos and sides that have culminated into Donald Trump versus America. And, beloveds, this is very powerful in the fact that we are addicted to sides. And you see this in the sides of the different parties that are political parties that are in place. They are sides. Whether it's Democrat, Republican, Independent, it's a side. Whether it's red or blue, whether what flag you choose, it's a side. It represents a side of the ego's truth. And it is a truth to that ego, to the egos that choose to support that world, to maintain that manifested, created world based upon a side and the ideologies that build the walls around that side. And that side must protect itself in order to continue to exist. And that's what I've been noticing in all the rhetoric, in all the communications um, that have been taking place lately. And also with the understanding that with the Aquarian age, our conscious awareness is expanding. And what does that mean to me? Metaphysically, I want you to understand that when a woman is pregnant, her womb fills. What causes her to pop or to become her womb to become so big is the amount of water, the amount of amniotic fluid that she contains in her womb. And our womb is filling again, which means our conscious awareness is expanding, it's spreading, it's getting bigger, it's getting wider. And with that conscious awareness, if we do not focus on it, the ego will have us taking the side of the body, the aches and pains, more than the impending birth or the body's ability to give birth naturally. And this is a matter of focus, and it is a matter of, like I said, addiction to the sides. When a woman is pregnant, she has cravings, whether those cravings are healthy or unhealthy. It is the ego's side, so to speak, saying, we need this, we want this, we want to taste, we want to experience this. And her hormones are all over the place. I want you to be able to see what is happening in our history in real life in this world that we exist with, amidst, in, as being something separate. That until we can recognize ourselves as existence itself, everything will be separate. We will live in a world instead of a universe. We will have a worldly outlook and perception of sides and needs and ideologies that exclude and are not inclusive, simply because that is the ego's way of surviving. It needs to create its own womb. It refuses to exist within existence. So it creates its own womb. It creates its own veins of logic and theories and ideologies to feed it. And it subjects its cells to either defend or attack. And we've got to start looking at things from this perspective and understanding, me being Christian, being raised that way, and understanding the Christ consciousness, and understanding that when the devil tempted Christ on one particular occasion, there were many, but on this one particular occasion, he wanted Jesus to bow down to him. And he said, if you bow down to me, if you admit that I am ruler of this world, I'll give you anything in this world that you want, anything. If you just bow down and kneel and say that, I'm the greatest, I'm the one, I'm the chosen one, I'm it. And Jesus, being Jesus, said, I'm not of this world. I may be in it, but I'm not of it. I'm aware of existence. I'm aware of my existence. I'm aware of our existence. I'm aware that you are part of existence. You are not separate from it, nor are you greater than it. So, no, I will not bow down to you and your ideology of separateness being greater than unity, than the wisdom, the divine wisdom of the macro and the microcosm. It's deep, beloveds, but it's nothing new. It's only um, the only thing that we need to do is to expand our conscious awareness by accepting that we are existence itself, and that we, being existence, being all the atoms and particles and forms and forces and energies and frequencies and vibrations and colors that gave birth to the universe itself, that gave birth to universal laws, that gave birth to cycles and seasons and ages of times. We are not separate from that. And because we are not separate from that, we create our existence as we experience it. We manifest what we believe. We manifest the truth of what we believe from the standpoint of being separate as an ego, as a person, as a self with an identity, connected to this world as a social security number or some kind of identification, or existence itself that is everything, that is not separate from anything. And when you compare those two um, ways, I'll say, you'll be able to see that we're fighting ourselves. We're fighting within ourselves. It is the yin and yang battle that is not accepting that it's one, but looking at itself not only as a duality, but a trinity. That 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 3. That 1 the yin, 1 the yang, and 3 the you who observes the yin and the yang, or who holds the yin and the yang, or who contains the yin and the yang. That's the trinity. The trinity is one. When we understand universal mathematics, e pluribus unum, from the one came many. From existence came many ways of existence. Existence does not exist. it cannot not exist. It exists in a form of possibilities that have not been manifested just yet. In the womb, as a woman, when you are born holding the eggs of your grandchildren within you. You are born with all of this potential to exist, to bring life, the life force, into existence. We were told to be fruitful and multiply. Be fruitful and multiply what? Be fruitful and multiply the consciousness of existence in all its varied states, but not something that is diseased and that fights against its own self, like a cancer or a leukemia, that causes itself pain and suffering and believes that this is its way to exist. Beloveds, we have to be ready in 2021 to expand our conscious awareness of what existence is. Existence is a privilege. It is not a white privilege. It is not a black privilege. It is not an Indian privilege. It is not an Asian privilege. It is a privilege to exist in any form, in any fashion, in any formless state. Existence is unconditional love. And again, with this being February 14th, so many of us think we know what love is. Yet we put all kinds of conditions and limitations and boundaries and borders upon the concept of allowing love to exist in its fullness, in its wholeness, and its ability to grow and mature, meaning that love has stages. It has an infant stage. We call that young love. And then it grows into a mature love. And many of us, because of our egos, don't get to expand our unconscious love any farther than that infant stage or conception of it. And I don't want to make this very long, but it is a process, beloveds. And the process comes from conscious awareness of existence itself. and that you are not excluded, you are included. And we can create our own bubbles, we can create our own worlds, we can create our own logic and ideologies, but they are not outside or greater than existence. And existence will have her way. She is the mama, she is the womb. She is the one that gives birth. And it is only a matter of the concepts and the subtleties of our addictions to taking sides and our conditioning to take sides and to have preferences that we declare ourselves separate from existence as a whole. A circle has no sides. A circle has no sides. And that is the most simplest form of wisdom that there is. And we can come up with all kind of ideas and ideologies and religions and scientific analysis and all kind of data and all kind of words, but you can't break it down any more than a circle has no sides. A circle of life has no sides, has no chosen favorite. It contains all. Okay, beloveds, that is going to do it for this video. I wanted to keep it short. It went to 22 minutes, but it is what it is. Thank you again, and um, my focus is going to be um, a little different from now on. So stay tuned, and I'm getting a website ready, so get ready. Namaste, beloveds.